In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 MLB games happening on August 16, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New York Yankees versus Atlanta Braves. The New York Yankees and the Atlanta Braves are squaring off in the final game of a 3-game interleague series on Friday night inside of Truist Park. The Yankees are last in the American League East with a 60-59 record so far and are sending rookie righty Randy Vasquez to the mound and coming off a win against the Miami Marlins, where he allowed 2 runs on 3 hits with 1 walk and 2 strikeouts over 3.2 innings as a bulk guy. The Braves are leading the National League East with a 76-42 record and are having veteran right-hander Charlie Morton start here and coming off a victory against the New York Mets as he threw 5 shutout innings and gave up 3 hits with 7 walks and 4 strikeouts. The Yankees have struggled all season as injuries to both their lineup and their pitching staff has left the team scrambling to avoid the cellar of the American League East, where they currently reside. Sure, they're a game over .500 entering Tuesday, but this was a team that was expected to contend instead of being mired in mediocrity. Having to throw a rookie like Vasquez, regardless of how sharp he has looked in limited innings at the big league level, against a lineup like Atlanta's is like walking around with a kick me sign on your back. Morton got in the win in his last start despite reverting to his early career wildness. With that said, the Braves' bats are more than capable of putting up big numbers, as we saw Monday night. Since the All-Star break, these teams have been on 2 different levels offensively, as the Yankees are averaging 4.07 runs in their 28 games, while the Braves are scoring 6.76 runs in their 29 games in the second half of the season. When looking at the pitching splits, there is a difference, as Randy Vasquez is 1-0 with a 4.91 earned run average and a .214 batting average against on the road, while Charlie Morton is 5-5 with a 3.9 earned run average and a .239 opposing batting average so far at Truist Park. So the Atlanta Braves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. New York has seen the under post a 58-50-5 mark in their 113 games this season entering Tuesday. The Yankees are tied for 20th in runs per game with 4.32 runs a night, though that number climbs to an average of 4.48 runs per game on the road. New York has posted an average total of 8.7 runs per game this season, and that number climbs to 9.14 runs per game on the road. Atlanta entered Saturday having seen the over post a 53-46-2 mark in their 101 games on the year. The Braves are first in the majors in runs per game with 5.89 runs per contest, though that number climbs to an average of 6.09 runs per game at home this season. Atlanta's average total on the year is 10.08 runs per contest, a number that climbs to 10.62 runs per contest as the home team this season. After 14 runs in the opener and the way runs pour in at Truist Park, this game winds up going past the total number as well. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Angels versus Texas Rangers. The Los Angeles Angels face the Texas Rangers, with both teams heading in opposite directions this season. The Angels have a 59-61 record, and with only 3 wins in their last 10 games, they have fallen below .500 and into 4th place in the American League West Division. The Rangers have a 71-48 record, and with 8 wins in their last 10 games, they have the best record in the American League West Division. For the upcoming game, the Angels will turn to Reed Detmers as their starting pitcher, who has allowed 14 runs in the last 2 games, while the Rangers will turn to Jon Gray, who has allowed 11 runs in the last 3 starts. This should be an intriguing Wednesday night showdown, and I'd say that it is the marquee matchup across all of Major League Baseball. The Angels are looking to pull off the upset, but the Rangers have been firing on all cylinders and look to step up and control this game from the first inning. The Rangers, who average 5.75 runs per game, should drive in runs at will against the Angels pitchers, with Kerry Seager, Adolis Garcia, and the rest of the lineup making contact and crushing pitches to easily drive in runs. The Rangers should limit the Angels lineup, with Jon Gray pitching multiple strong innings to allow the bullpen to close out the game with a comfortable lead. There are a plethora of reasons to like the Rangers in this spot. For starters, the Angels have been awful recently, going just 3-10 in the month of August. They're also just 5-8 against the run line over that span. Secondly, Jon Gray is coming off of a dominant outing on Friday. The right-hander held the Giants scoreless over 7 innings. Finally, the Rangers' offense is simply too good. They've crushed the baseball this year. I know it's not always an easy thing to sweep a division rival in a 3-game set, but the problem for the Angels is that they just don't have it right now and are falling out of the playoff race faster and faster as the days go by. The Rangers, on the other hand, show no signs of letting up, and I don't think they will here either. Between Gray's excellent form and Texas' lethal offense, I think it's worth a shot to play them on the run line at home. So the Texas Rangers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both lineups have been great this year, and they look to drive in runs at will from the first pitch. The Angels, who average 4.79 runs per game, should constantly play base runners with Shohei Ohtani, Mickey Moniak, and the rest of the lineup making hard contact and powering the ball against Jon Gray and the rest of the Rangers pitchers. The Rangers, who have scored 30 runs in the last 5 games, should run up the score against Reed Detmers, who has allowed 14 runs in the last 2 games, with Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia, Nathaniel Lowe, and the rest of the lineup swinging for the fences and powering the ball to easily play base runners. While I'm high on Gray for this game, I still think Los Angeles may put up a few runs throughout the contest. The Angels have found some success against the right-hander as they're slashing .280, .349, and .587 against him over 75 at-bats. As I mentioned earlier, the Rangers' offense has been a wagon this season. Over the last 15 days, they're 3rd overall in home runs and ops, and they're hitting .272, which is 5th best in the MLB. There's really no stopping this Texas squad, so I'll ride with the over. Look for them to beat up the Los Angeles pitching staff and carry this game score past the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago White Sox versus Chicago Cubs. The Chicago White Sox will play the Chicago Cubs in Game 2 of their series on Wednesday night at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. The White Sox won the first game in this series by a score of 5-3 on Tuesday night. The Cubs are having a much better season than the White Sox, but anything can happen in this rivalry. The Cubs should be favored as they're the better team. At home, they've been one of the best teams in the second half, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. However, the White Sox have been able to scratch out wins here and there lately, and Mike Clevinger has been solid 78.2 innings with his 3.55 earned run average and 1.30 WHIP. Clevinger has allowed 13 hits and 4 earned runs in his last 16 innings. You can do a lot worse than Clevinger and plus money on this Wednesday MLB card. The White Sox upset the Cubs in Game 1 of the series, and even though they have a terrible record, they have played pretty well in their last 9 games. The White Sox are only 23-39 on the road, but they are starting Mike Clevinger, who has allowed 7 earned runs in his last 26.1 innings pitched. The Cubs are starting Javier Assad, who has allowed 3 earned runs in his last 16.1 innings of work. We have a pretty decent pitching matchup in this game, but I really like how Clevinger has looked lately, so the Chicago White Sox money line is our full game side pick. Chicago went into Tuesday having seen the underpost of 59 to 52 to 8 mark in their first 119 games. The White Sox are tied for 25th in the majors with 4.21 runs per game, a number that bumps up to 4.2 runs per game on the road this season. Chicago has an average total of 9.13 runs per game on the year. That number climbs to an average of 9.17 runs per game as the road team this year. Meanwhile, the Cubs have seen the overpost of 62 to 52 to 4 mark on the season entering Tuesday's action. The Cubs are 5th in the majors entering Tuesday as they average 5.06 runs per game this season, though that climbs to 5.5 runs per game at home. Chicago has seen an average total of 9.58 runs per game on the year, which edges up slightly to an average of 10.2 runs per game at Wrigley Field. Until we see Stroman return to his first half form, the probability of big run totals is decent. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.